Every one of us, at one point or another, has been alone at night and thought we heard a noise somewhere in the house. You get that rush of fear and the tingle over your skin as goosebumps creep up your neck. When you finally get up the nerve to investigate, there's nothing there. But sometimes that's not always the case. I was sitting in the kids' bedroom, putting them to sleep, my husband in the living room working. The house was pretty quiet. We heard someone turn the knob on the back door and bump it pretty hard, twice, as if trying to shove the door open. My husband brought me the shotgun and went exploring outside with the pistol. He was a county reserve cop at the time. We never did see anyone. The weird thing? I usually don't end up locking the doors until we go to bed, usually a couple of hours after the kids, but for some reason, I had a nagging feeling to lock it early that night. If I hadn't, God knows what would have happened. It was obvious that we were home, and at least someone was awake. My husband had the kitchen and living room lights on, so whatever they wanted was not just to take things. My husband spoke to his fellow officers, but nothing was ever found. He did find a footprint by the garage the next morning. It was way too big to have been his. We waited and waited for a follow-up break-in, and it never happened. I am a stay-at-home mom, so I kept the pistol within reach for a while, when the kids were in school and I was home alone. Nothing like that has ever happened again. However, a few months later, my 11-year-old son did move out of his bedroom because he felt like he was being watched. He said he kept hearing footsteps outside his windows. Before we moved in, his room was a back porch that the previous owners had boxed in. The old concrete porch steps are still outside his room and lead to a big window the previous owners put in. I'm sure it could have just been neighborhood stray cats, but this was just a few months after the door incident. I thank God I locked that door early that night. Two friends and I got bored one summer night and decided to drive up into the mountains to a spot that overlooked the town. It's a rough dirt road, and we were driving in a VW Rabbit. We finally make it to a little clearing on the side of the road and pull over. There are no houses on this road for miles, and we didn't see any other vehicles the rest of the night. So we get out of the car. It's pitch black except for the lights of the little town at the bottom of the clearing miles away. We're all kind of bullshitting as we get out, and something gets our attention. We all turn and look at the same time, and see this thing running through the woods about 30 feet from us. Now this thing looked like a person, except it was glowing. Remember those glow-in-the-dark stars you could stick to your ceiling? It glowed about the same intensity. So we watched this thing run, pushing branches out of its way as it makes its way towards us. We all quickly get back in the car without a word and start driving off in total silence. About 30 seconds later, someone finally says, "What the f*** did we just see?" The best answer we could come up with, as crazy as it sounds, was that we saw a ghost. All three agreed we saw the exact same thing. So a couple of years go by, and I'm with my older brother and one of my best friends, and we're just hanging out, making small talk. I bring this story up expecting him to laugh at me, and he gets this shocked look on his face, and he asks if I'm serious. Apparently his teacher in high school had told them he saw the exact same thing run across that road in front of him one night. Made me feel a little less crazy. When I was in elementary school, I shared a queen-size bed with my older sister and our family dog who would sleep at the foot of the bed every night. When I was about 6 years old, I woke up in the middle of the night. As my eyes adjusted, I could see by my alarm clock it was about midnight. I went to roll over, and as I did, I saw a dark figure standing at the foot of the bed. The figure was entirely in black, without any eyes or facial features. I quietly tried to wake my sister up, but she rolled over to go back to sleep. My sister must have accidentally kicked the dog, because the dog woke up and raised her head and started growling at the figure at the foot of the bed. The growling then woke my sister up, and she saw the figure as well and started screaming. My parents came into the room and turned the light on, but nothing was there. Sleep tight, and maybe double check the locks on your doors and windows tonight.